Welcome back to Panther Productions, the weekly broadcast. My name is Kassidy Smith, and this is
Eben Moody.
Today we have much to talk about, so let's start with the upcoming events.
On the 9th, Mr. Natti, the principal here at Lisbon, will be performing Let It Go for the school because of meeting the goal for the clothing drive. On
the 18th and 19th, the seniors will have the senior trip of the year.
And last for upcoming events, we will have a half day on the 18th.
Now that the upcoming events are wrapped up, let's dive into the rest of the broadcast, starting with Carter with some pop culture news.
Hi, my name is Carter Colby, and today we'll be interviewing two people about the John Pork and Tim Cheese case. Hi, Rich.
Hi.
What is happening between John Pork and Tim Cheese and any side characters?
Okay. So, basically, when all of them were younger, Marvin Beak, Tim Cheese, John Pork, Pangu, and Simon Claw, they were all little friends. All little friends, right? And they used to hang out all the time, until John Pork grew in fame and brought Marvin Beak and Pangu aside him. And then he started messing with Tina Cheese, which was Tim Cheese's wife. Now, Tim Cheese killed John Pork after he messed with his wife. And, yeah, it's so sad, but, yeah.
So, who do you
Tim Cheese.
Sorry, sir, calm down. Who do you think is the real villain of the story here?
Tim Cheese.
Why?
No, John Pork!
Sir, sit down, it's gonna be okay. It's okay.
I meant John Pork, sir. Agent 5.5 is a traitor.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
What happened between John Pork and Tim Cheese?
So when John Pork and Tim Cheese were younger, they were good friends, and they would hang out all the time. When all of a sudden Tina Cheese, which is Tim Cheese's girlfriend, came out, John Pork stole her. And when John Pork got the high life, he left Tim Cheese behind.
Yep.
So Tim Cheese decided to get his revenge when they were older, and he killed John Pork.
Oh, really? Who do you think is the real villain of the story?
John Pork. He knows he shouldn't have been messing with Tim Cheese's girl. He knows that John Pork would be doing this sort of thing, so that's why he's struck. So John Pork is the villain.
Thank you. Thank you to the two people that let us know their thoughts, and I guess we'll have to find out soon.
Thank you, Carter. Now we'll go to Emily Mitten with some information about the art club mural.
Hello everybody, my name is Emily Mitten, and today I'll be giving you all an update on the art club's new art mural. The art club has been working hard over the past few months to brainstorm, plan, and paint this new addition to the school, so Linnea will be joining me today to further explain the art club's process. Let's dive straight into the interview. Hello Linnea, thank you for joining me today for an interview on the newly developed art mural. My first question for you is, how long have you been in the art club for?
I actually started the art club, so I believe I started around the end of sophomore year, beginning of junior year. Yeah.
Nice, that's so cool. And when did this mural begin to be painted?
We started working, thinking about the idea of creating a mural actually at the beginning of this year. We knew we wanted to do it, and then I'd say a couple weeks in is when we really started brainstorming this one and started to plan for it.
And then how did you guys decide what to make a mural of?
We all sort of collaborated to make our own ideas, and then we all kind of voted on the one we thought fit best. Because of the window here, we thought it would be cool if we had a mural depicting all the different seasons, and we could have the window to represent which one we're in.
Yeah, that's awesome. And when do you guys usually paint the mural?
So it's normally after school, kind of any day we can. Our advisor sends out an email with a list of dates, and we're just supposed to RSVP to which ones we can attend, and we go based off that.
Nice. And do you enjoy painting the mural?
I love it.
Awesome. Thank you for joining me today.
Of course.
Thank you so much to Linnea for joining me to further describe how the art club is creating their mural, and thank you all for listening to my piece. I'm excited to see the final product of this project, and I hope that you all are as well. Now, let's go back to the hosts.
Thank you, Emily, for showing us an inside look at what the art club's new mural is.
Now with Kassidy Smith with sports kickoff of softball and baseball.
Hello, I'm Kassidy Smith. I'll be going over the sports kickoff for softball and baseball. High school softball and baseball started on March 24th, and middle school softball and baseball started on March 31st. We will now go to the softball coach for high school with more info on the season. How long have you been a softball coach?
I've done varsity for, I think, 14 years. This may be my 15th year. And before that, I did it for quite a few years as an assistant coach under Coach Perrin back when my own children were in school. So I've done this for a while.
How did past seasons go?
They run in waves. I mean, it's almost like you get a group of kids, you build them up, they play very well, and then they graduate, and you start back over building. So it runs, it's up and down. So like last year we were over, but I don't expect to be that way this year at all. I expect this team to be very good. So they learned a lot last year.
So you think they've improved a lot?
I know they have improved a lot. So I've watched them. It's only been a week, but I still watch them. You guys, everyone has improved a lot. So,
how do you think this season will go?
Some teams didn't graduate anybody, so I'm going to say I will be happy with a 500 season.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have good luck with your season.
Thank you, Coach. I hope everyone is looking forward to the softball and baseball season. Now, let's go back to the hosts.
Thank you, Kassidy, for letting us know what's coming up with sports.
We will now go to Carter Colby with Where Am I?
Hi, this is Carter Colby, and today we're joined by Asa Metcalf to try and guess where I am in town with just 3 pictures. Hi, Asa.
Hello.
I come to you with the very important question. Where am I in town? I'm going to give you these pictures. You're going to try and guess. Okay?
Okay.
Here you go.
You gave me a picture of a trash can, some charcoal, and a piece
It's
of
important to
asphalt.
look at the surroundings. I'll give you a hint. The trash can is where everybody goes in the morning to get their stuff in town.
Could it be Dewey's?
Yeah! I got it right! That was Asa Metcalf with the question, where am I in town? Now, back to the hosts.
Thank you, Carter, for the great piece on Where Am I?
Next, we have Brayden McAndrew with his big story on Mr. Natti, the principal here at Lisbon.
This week's big focus is on our principal, Mr. Natti. Mr. Natti is a graduate of Lisbon Regional and a talent athlete here. As a result, he has a lot of experience with this school and knows about the changes over time.
What is it like growing up in Lisbon?
So I don't think a lot has changed between now and when I was growing up in Lisbon. I think what's different is things were a little bit slower. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have computers like you guys have. Mr. Jellison's room was the computer lab for us, so if you wanted to use a computer, you had to go in there. So I think when we were growing up, there was a lot more face-to-face contact with our friends. We had to call home phones, and sometimes you got parents that you had to ask permission to talk to people. Or you just started biking around, or when we got older, driving around to find what people were up to. We didn't have a lot of the social media stuff that you guys have, but I think all in all, some of the things that we did are probably pretty similar to what you guys are doing now.
What are some of your favorite memories growing up here?
So I played sports when I was growing up. A lot of my favorite memories come from that. I think there were a lot of things that we did that at the time you didn't realize how much you enjoyed them until you get older, and then you can't do them anymore. I think having a group of people, because of the lack of social media, our friend groups were a lot bigger, because you kind of did a little bit of everything with everybody. And so there were we had a lot of different guys that played sports with us, different ages, different interests. Now they may not play sports, they might specialize in something else, but we all did stuff like that together. And then a lot of the things we just had to make up. If you didn't want to be bored, you had to get creative with what you did outside, or you found games to play, or made this up, or went to somebody's house. So those were all the things that I enjoyed the most. My favorite sports memory was getting to play basketball at Plum State College in the playoffs, because I'd never done anything like that before. And it was the first time in a few years, 5 or 6 years or so, that Lisbon had played in Plymouth, so that was a lot of fun. And then I got to coach there later, and even though that was fun, it's not the same as playing there when you walk out there for the first time. I won the state championship in golf in high school, and that was fun, but it was an individual title. It wasn't as fun as the team stuff. And then I ended my athletic career by getting my jaw broken by a fastball in a playoff game, so that one wasn't much fun, but that's probably the athletic memory that I remember the most.
Can you tell us about what Mr. Natti was like as a student here at LRS?
Oh, Mr. Natti. Boy, I'd have to go back a while. That's probably 20 plus years ago. Mr. Natti was a very outgoing guy, to say the least. He was a good all-around student athlete. Obviously was involved in all 3 seasons of sports, and was a good student. Probably had his ups and downs in certain classes, but certainly was a good student athlete, for sure. As far as athletics, Mr. Natti, like I said, played all 3 sports, be it in the fall. He was probably, him and his brother were 2 of the best golfers at that time to graduate here. Obviously their names are on the banner, and he still is an exceptional golfer. As a coach, good, a well-respected coach. The kids really enjoyed playing for him, and did a great job, brought another championship to the school, and guided a team that was probably a top 4 or 6 team, and brought another title to the school, which was amazing. It was a heck of a run in the playoffs, and he was great. I believe he coached for 10, maybe 11 years, and really enjoyed having him here as a coach.
What do you enjoy about being principal at LRS?
I think my favorite part of it is the times that I get to work with kids and do different activities. I also enjoy working with the teachers to do some long-term planning with curriculum and see their excitement to do things, because we want to make sure that everybody gets the best education for what they need individually. So I think that's a challenge, and sometimes it's a bit of a puzzle trying to put everything together, but that's probably my favorite part.
Which traditions would you like to keep at LRS?
So one that started that we didn't have here when I was a student was homecoming, and I think homecoming was a lot of fun this year, with the games, with the parade, bonfire, things like that. I think community events like that are fun. So that's one that I hope we can continue to grow and keep. I always liked Winter Carnival when I was a student, and that's still going on, and that's a pretty big event. So, and I think there's always, traditions are great, but I think that there's always room for students to come up with new things that get carried forward. So, we may not have all of the traditions in place right now that we will in a few years, and it'll be fun to come up with some of those.
Thanks for Mr. Natti for his time.
Thank you, Brayden, for the story. Now let's move on to dad jokes with Emily Mitten.
Hello everybody, my name is Emily Mitten, and today I will be hosting a funny segment titled Dad Jokes with Tanner. To explain, I had Tanner join me to tell a dad joke for students to react to and rate. Let's see what Tanner's joke was first. Hi Tanner, thank you for joining me for this segment today. Could you please tell a joke for people to react to?
Hey everyone, I once read a book about glue. I couldn't put it down.
Nice one, Tanner. Now, let's see how a few students reacted when they were shown this clip. Right, here's the joke for you to react to.
I once read a book about glue. I couldn't put it down. Perfect.
What do you think of the joke?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10, oh, pretty good. All right, thank you very much, Chase. All right, let's react to the joke.
I once read a book about glue. I couldn't put it down. Perfect.
What do you think of the joke?
I'll give that a 4.
4 out of 10?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, here's the joke.
I once read a book about glue. I couldn't put it down.
What do you think of the joke? What would you give it out of 10?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Do you think it's funny?
You can give your honest opinion.
You think it's
Yeah.
funny? All right, thank you very much. All right, here's the joke.
I once read a book about glue. I couldn't put it down. Perfect. Thank you.
What do you think of the joke?
It's awful.
What would you give it out of 10?
2. It's terrible.
Do you think it's like a dad joke, or is it just like unfunny?
It's a dad joke.
Okay.
It's just an unfunny dad joke.
Okay, thank you. Thank you to all of the students for participating in this piece, and thank you to Tanner for so willingly cracking a joke. Now, let's go back to the hosts.
And thank you for listening, Panthers.
Like, subscribe, and make sure to join us for the next broadcast.
Have a great day, Panthers.